do a little video of my first thoughts and everything of the 10 scale Baja array. Just got it the other day. Not bad. Don't really have any big batteries to run in it yet. Those are coming in the mail. We live in Iowa. It's been 40 degrees. We like to run them in the snow, so I'm glad everything's waterproof. But I did find the steering's very weak in it. You get in trudging through the snow and it just won't steer. But I knew that before I bought it. I'd done some research. I got some aluminum parts coming for the steering to stiffen that up, and I did put they were just some $28 aluminum body shocks for the front. They worked. I had to do some finagling and make a little bushing, but I'm kind of glad I did. They didn't have any of the 120 or 130 millimeter shocks for the rear, so we left those stock in there for now. But they it's kind of a good thing we tore them apart, because the ones that came in the truck, we found they got a lot of air in them. All four of them. A lot of air. Kind of disappointed with losi about that. But in the build, I did take the rubber bump stops out of the factory losi shocks and put those in. So that adds a little springiness if you bottom it out. Overall, I think it's pretty nice. It's super fast on a little 2S battery. Tires are soft. Haven't ran it much other than in a little bit of snow or on the asphalt. But so be it. Here's the part number of the shock that I put in it. They seem to be okay. I put some 35 weight oil in it. Seems a little stiffer than factory. The remote seems a little on the cheesy side. I already got the new servo for the steering, but I'm gonna wait because, like I said, I got some aluminum parts for the steering coming. We did find, I covered it up with a little sticker, but it's out of the box. You're gonna want to crank some preload on it, because, especially in the rear, because the tires do start to chew through the paint on the back. I got some aluminum arms coming for the rear, mainly because I'm going to run a dual shock system in the back. I haven't totally figured out what I'm doing with that yet, but you could, in theory, run them on the factory ones, because the losi arms and the shock mounts are set up to run the dual rear shocks. I thought about just moving that rear shock back to the further back mounts just to see how it does, but out of the box it's pretty cool. I did notice that as soon as I turned it on, the steering servo glitched way over here, and I had to turn the knob way to the left just to make it drive straight. Not sure what was going on with that. Maybe I have to just move the servo horn. Not sure, but ain't worried about that myself, because I got a new servo I'm already putting in it. Runs real good. We've jumped some little jumps. We've jumped giant snowbanks with it. I haven't broke anything yet. Time will tell, I guess. I mean, it's Iowa, it's 40 degrees, and there's snow on the ground, so we're trudging through the snow and trying to steer, and it wouldn't steer. So that's primarily the reason I decided to go with a higher torque steering servo. But it is beautiful out of the box. I do like it. You know, it's got some scratches right off the bat. Can't dig one out of the box and not flip it over a couple times. But yeah, we've hit some stuff pretty hard and haven't broke anything. The lights are really cool on it. I do like that. I do like to screw with a couple of my neighbors that sit and look out their front window during the evening hours and then they just see these lights driving by. You know, then they have to wonder what's going on. Then they figure out it's me, so whatever. But I like it out of the box. It's pretty cool if you're really serious about driving it. Maybe look into obviously some steering upgrades. Pretty happy with what losi put together here, other than the mere fact that the shocks aren't even full of oil. Well, you may have even heard the air in it, but that's all air. Yeah, if you get it out of the box, fun to go run it for a day or two, and then when you get time to tear it apart, rebuild the shocks. I don't see a problem with the factory shocks. I plan on running it in a variety of areas, so I want on-the-fly adjustability, and just the plastic housings. I know how those get when they get dirty, and I did notice a little bit of leakage, I think, on two of the shocks. I think one of the front and one of the rears. They were already leaking oil just come out of the box, but I suppose if one would take the time, you know, just rebuild the factory shocks and put some new O-rings in, I guess, wherever it leaks. Or I just decided to change them, get new ones. The rear ones, they look fine. I think they function fine, but I'm going to be backing preload off and putting preload on, just for the mere fact of the places we like to go. We like to go from BMX tracks to RC car tracks or whatever. We'll see. It seems like I can launch this thing off the roof and nothing is broke yet, but I like it. Got some parts coming. Gonna enjoy this a lot. Put a 3S in it and see if we can cut this front fender off with this tire. One suggestion I would make, and this is one thing I don't have it in my hand yet, but it's coming. I got some million weight Traxxas oil for the center differential, because this thing spins a lot in the front. A lot. I'd like it just to hook a little better. Stiffen up that center differential. Good to go. Let it crash into a tree and break some parts. Gotta love them. That's what it's all about. There's a ton of parts available aftermarket. I see there, like RPM makes front bumper. I got new lower A-arms coming. I probably didn't need to order them, but I did, just for the mere fact that I was changing those shocks to those hot racing shocks, and I wanted some adjustability to them. See if maybe the spring rate was a little off. I could, you know, just adjust them on the A-arms a little bit. We'll see how it goes. But it's super tons of fun. It's got a ton of suspension. It lands smooth. If you're heavy on the throttle when you jump on something steep. Otherwise it likes to nosedive, but hey, it's the nature of the beast, and not very often we're going to be running on tracks. We'll just be running out for fun, so I like it. Not a bad little truck if you're willing to spend a little extra after you get it. Like the disc brakes, they're kind of cool. Not sure if they're necessary. I like the scale effect of them. I like the scale effect of everything. A friend of mine's got a 3D printer. He said he might print me up a couple little fire extinguishers for the back, and who knows, maybe I'll get bored one of these days and, you know, paint the so-called radiator. The speed control has its own fan in there, but might not be able to see it. But it's a big Spectrum 130 amp speed controller. I think the speed controller and motor, good combination out of the box. Wouldn't need to change them much. The AVC on the controller comes out of the box about midway. Probably want to turn it down a little bit because it likes to do a lot of overcorrecting, which makes it a little squirrely. I don't currently have a battery for my little GPS speedometer thing, but I'd guess it runs a little over 30 mile an hour because we weren't having problems catching traffic coming up and down the street, just, you know, even with these little 2S batteries. But it works. It runs. It's fast. It's definitely fun right out of the box. I got to do a little work to it yet, but it is what it is. Pretty sweet little truck. Like how thick the aluminum chassis is. The drive shaft, I feel the drive shaft and maybe this pinion bearing here might give me some problems. I start running a lot more power through it. Hopefully I don't end up with that problem. Hopefully I can get parts upgraded before I break something, but I guess who cares if it breaks? We'll just order parts and go from there. Do like it though. I don't know if it's definitely not a truck for a first timer, but it's definitely nice for the money. Peace out.